Hi, my name's Tony Rovira. I'm the Managing Director of Azure Minerals. We're an AZS listed company exploring for lithium in Western Australia. Our main asset is the Andover Lithium project, where we're currently drilling at the moment, 6 drill rigs operating, and we're getting incredible wide and high-grade intersections of lithium mineralization. Spodumene hosted in pegmatites. These intersections are some of the widest and best grade that have ever been found in Western Australia. So the project is looking really, really good.
It's some of the best in the world at the moment, it seems. Okay, and the market has reacted. Share price gone through the roof. Life is good when you've got lithium hosted in these pegmatites. So how are you coping?
Yes, there's a lot of talking going on. But it's a story well worth telling, and it's a lot of fun to actually tell a good story. And Andover is turning out to be one of the best stories that I've ever been involved with, and potentially could be the very best ever. So, remember, we went in there 3 years ago, and Andover was a nickel sulfide project. We drilled it for a while. Over 2 years, we identified and drilled out 2 nickel sulfide deposits, have a number of other targets on there that have yet to be drilled out for research status. And then about 18 months ago, we decided that lift the eyes a little bit and look across the rest of the property. And lo and behold, there were some pegmatites sticking out of the ground. We went and sampled them, high-grade lithium in the outcropping pegmatites, supposed to be spodumene. And in that 18 months, everything has changed.
Well, that's twice now, because you guys were in Mexico previously, and then obviously COVID came along, made it a little bit difficult to operate. You've recognised that obviously nickel, copper, cobalt would be of interest to the market. But maybe sometimes luck is involved in this as well. So spotting that lithium has, I guess, changed the fortunes of the company significantly for the second time.
Absolutely, it has. And I've got to go back 3 years and pay tribute to our legendary prospector friend, Mark Creasy, who's been hugely successful with many, many discoveries, either by himself directly or companies that he supported. And I approached Mark and asked him if he had any assets or projects that he would like to vend into Azure. And he said, yes, I've got this Andover nickel project here in the Andover region of Western Australia. And thanks to him, we did the deal. He's still well exposed to the upside. It's a 60-40 joint venture. We own 60%, and he still owns 40%, and it's pre-carried through to production. So good on him. But with our exploration, firstly, the success finding the nickel deposits, and now the lithium, things are looking very bright for Azure.
Yeah, true. Okay, so you clearly, obviously, it's not just about picking up an asset. You've got to do something with it. Now you're on path for a 40,000 meter drill program currently. Where are we with that?
That's correct. We've got 40,000 meters planned and budgeted for this last couple of months and the next couple of months. So that should be finished by the end of August. If our success rate with the drills continues all through that next couple of months, then we'll just roll on to keep the drills going. And I estimate we'll probably do another 60,000 metres by the end of the year. So in all up, this could be a 100,000 metre drilling program on the lithium.
Right, okay. And clearly in moments like this, it's very, very tempting to go and take advantage and raise cheap capital. Where are you with money at the moment? Because I think the last interview we talked about maybe ripping through 3 to 4 million a month. How long is that going to last you? And so when do you think you'll come back to market?
So we've got about $20 million in cash still in the bank. We are spending 3 to 4 million a month, so you can give it when it'll run out. But having said that, we will raise at the best time. We could have gone back last week or the week after when the first results went out and we started to run quite hard. But we believe that it would be best if we at least get enough results out into the market so that it forms a base source, a stable platform, and we've looked to be doing a raising then. Now, that may be in a month, or it might be in 3 months' time, but when the time is right, yes, we'll be very happy.
Right, and I guess for your shareholders or people looking into this thing, there's some real simple math involved in this. It's like, the grades which you'll be announcing, the intervals that you'll be announcing, and I guess, the depths at which you're finding this lithium in spodumene that you're looking for. So that's when do you think you'll start putting out these results, and how long will it be until you kind of finish that first phase of the program?
Well, we have put out 2 batches of drill results so far. I would think probably the first 12 holes and so it out.
Right.
And in those first 12 holes, there were 2 intersections that ran over 100 meters in width in intersection width. We're upgrading sort of around the 1.2% mark of lithium. And then there were another 2 intersections that were about 50 metres intersection width, running over 1.2% as well. So we've got 4 very, very wide intersections today. And visually, we are still drilling, and visually we can identify pegmatites in the drill core, and we can identify spodumene within the pegmatites. So we're very confident that going forward, there's going to be a lot more very wide, broad widths of good grade mineralisation. In fact, I might call that some of them will be spectacular.
Okay, well, we will definitely be picking up the phone when some of those numbers come out. Now, the thing that happens in markets like this is obviously if the market's got super, super excited, there may be a bit of a pullback, but I guess depending on your drill results, maybe this ride continues. Inbounds. So you'll have inbounds from brokers saying, "Hey, let me raise you some money," because that's what I used to do. We want to raise you money in moments like this. You're going to have to make a call as to what that timing is, and I guess you'll let us know. The other thing is industry perks up. They put the head above the parapet and say, right, okay, maybe we need to start trying to understand what these boys are doing. So I expect you'll be conscious of that, of those inbounds at the point that you want to start picking up the phone. You've seen some great examples of how people have done it. I think Core Lithium, big success in Australia and others, and we've seen some great success in North America with, again, those lithium pegmatite stories. Are you kind of clear about how you manage those phone calls? You're explorers. You'll need different skill sets coming on board as this thing grows. You're kind of conscious of that now?
Well, most definitely. And you're quite right. We've been getting a lot of inbound calls, initially from brokers, always trying to raise this money. And also a lot of mining analysts are trying to understand what we've got. So we've talked with them, and there's been a number of probably 4 or 5 different groups here in Australia about research notes on Azure over the last few days. And in addition to that, I've been talking to bunch of institutions, either in face-to-face or via video. And there's a lot of excitement out there in the investment community. I would say that some of those instos have probably been buying on market as well, which is an encouraging sign as well. And then you're right, and then there's the other bigger players in the industry, the other companies that are miners or have projects at the development stage who are starting to pick up the phone and call me and just for a chat. So, it's always interesting to talk to these different organisations, but Azure Minerals, it's our intention to carry this forward as quickly as we can, with 6 rigs operating now and just basically operating and drilling as fast as we can to get to the resource stage as fast as we can. Post that, well, we could certainly carry on into the scoping studies, PEA or PFS level, but preliminary-wise, and I'm going to be careful how I say this, is that the project looks capable of hosting a truly enormous number of lithium deposits and lithium resources in this little area. And if that comes off, then I'm sure that we'll be inundated with expressions of interest from all the really big players.
You make an interesting point. I was speaking to a couple of analysts last week about how companies going to create real value. And I'm talking about the guys who care about the economics, not just driving the share price. And it's that speed into market, not by taking shortcuts, but allocating capital and targeting. Now you've got a number of targets that you can get after, and I'm sure you prioritize those. But with the end game of doing what? Because you're probably not the guys that are going to get this into production, but you've got to set up your stall, tell the story, and maximize value for your shareholders. What does that look like? What is that time frame that you're aiming for?
Well, there's a couple of different ways that this will go forward. Azure Minerals, in any case, will be advancing the project as quickly as we can, progressing it towards or down the pathway of scoping study, PFS, feasibility study, and the like. We'll continue down that road. Now, maybe another company will probably come along and try and buy a project or private company, etc. Alternatively, Azure could look to take it all the way through. We just have a change at management and board level to bring in the appropriate skill set to do it. And either way is going to be good because of the project continuing to advance.
And how do you feel about that? Sorry, I'm kind of I kind of feel, because we've talked in the past a few times about technically how you're coming at this thing, and obviously the drills are turning. So I don't necessarily want to focus that. I want to kind of focus on what's going on in the head with regards to the optionality for you guys. When you have moments like this, when the ore body keeps giving up good data, good information, it's easy to kind of maybe wander off into the future, which is what I'm guilty of doing. But if we understand your mentality, it kind of helps us understand that where the maybe potential exits are, where the potential value comes in. Are you saying there's enough targets here for you to kind of build this thing up into something exceptional, potentially, or are you just kind of conscious of, well, if we reach a certain kind of multiple return type profile, maybe it's time to kind of hand over the baton to someone else, because you never know. You don't know what the future holds. It's been a very tumultuous ride for lithium, even since 2016, for the markets at the moment. What are the kind of variables that you consider when you're trying to work out the best moment to maybe cash in?
Well, obviously, there are a lot of risks that we have to factor into it, whatever decision making, deciding the pathways or strategy was really. Now, technical risk seems pretty small at the moment. It's good. Macroeconomic risks, well, we can't influence those, so we just have to ride them through. But obviously, over time, make decisions that would enable us to maximise our potential before anything cataclysmic happens around the world, whether it be economic or otherwise. But in the meantime, yes, there's a lot of other companies that are mining, or what soon to be mining lithium in Australia, and those companies will be looking at what we've got, because what we've got might, in the end, day would be better than what they've currently got. So there could be some very interested and may I say aggressive looking at what we've got, and we'll just have to play it by ear and see how we go. But at the moment, all we can do, our destiny's in our own hands at this point in time. We are in a very strong position. We will continue to aggressively progress the exploration and the project development as fast as we can. And if someone comes along and says, "Hey, I really like what you got," then we'll crack some trunch of it.
Right. Okay. And I think there's a kind of a sense in the market, again, for conversations we've had with industry players, that not everyone is talking about getting into production. We'll get into production down the line, so maybe not quite as much lithium around as some people would like us to believe. So being a big deposit in Western Australia, I guess you can look to your peers and say, well, look, we're like them, but you've kind of got to get through these phases with regards to finding it, keeping the grade, size, metallurgy, etc., etc. Look, I'm going to keep this short and sweet, because people should be looking at this story. It's probably got a long ways to run. The other thing is, I would say, is you've kind of got these nickel, copper, cobalt assets, or metals that you in the background. Are you going to try and treat those as a kind of separate project, as a byproduct, or do you think now maybe is the time to think about maybe spinning these out and monetizing these in different ways?
It's a little bit difficult just geologically and logistically, because the two deposits we've identified and figured out so far, Andover and Ridgeline, it's about 6 million tonnes of 1.5% nickel equivalent underground mining scenario. Yeah, they're away from where lithium is. There are quite a few really high priority targets, some of which we've already put a couple of holes into, which are big nickel sulfides, which are in amongst the pegmatite field. So it's actually not as easy as one would have hoped for, to be able to, say, separate out and then spin off the nickel and focus on the lithium, or vice versa. I think that at some stage down the track, someone will need to have a careful look at it and see what can be done. But where we're drilling at the moment in the pegmatite field, chasing the lithium, there are outcropping nickel and copper rich bosses sitting on top of the hills, which have never been tested. So it's an interesting conundrum. The nickel, really attractive, but it doesn't quite have that value. It has nowhere near the value of what the lithium may well have. And so at this stage, we'll chase the lithium. We've parked the nickel studies and future exploration just on the back burner for a while. I'll put it on the shelf, leave it there, and monitor the markets, the prices and the like. And in the meantime, full steam ahead on the lithium.
Absolutely. Get after the contained metal in the rock for sure. Look, Tony, great ride. You're currently on. Long may it continue. Stay in touch. Let us know how those drill results get on, and we'll talk soon. Okay.
Okay, that's great. Thanks a lot, mate.